Today I'm going to be showing you how to replace the transmission mount on the Ford Focus 2014 SE. This is the hatchback. So the first thing you want to do is remove, the airbox from the vehicle so you can have access to the battery area and all that. So you have to disconnect right here. This plug comes really easy. Just pull this thing up because usually it's down. Just all the way down. Just pull it up and it should, wiggle it and it should come out. Just put it to the side. This one is easy. You press right here, both sides, and it should come out too without any issue. Then this one right here, you pull, you lift this thing back and then pull back and it should come out. Be careful, these things break. This hose usually breaks. It's crystallized. I think I have to change it, but it's not flexible. And then I don't remove this, I just disconnect from this one down here, and that's let me see, that should be a 7 millimeters if I'm not wrong. So yeah, it's a 7. I can't focus, it's too much. Let me see, come on, focus. Yes, it's a 7. So you're gonna need a 7 to release that from there. Once you have that, you're gonna have to use both hands, so you can move this around. Everything is loose now because I loosened everything up. But so you can move this around and pull this area at the same time. Don't forget to disconnect this here. This thing sits here inside this lip, so this plastic enters there and this one enters to the top. So remove the top, then stick your finger and remove the plastic that holds it, and then just wiggle this thing out and pull. This thing can be a little bit stubborn right here because it has grips to that piece. And boom, see, I removed the air box. It's out. So usually I put a paper here to prevent any debris. This thing right here, this thing is going crazy with the focus. You see how it has grips? So the hose grips to that. So you're gonna have to be a little bit rough. Make sure you open the ring that is surrounds holding the hose, this thing, but the one on the bottom. Release it good, open it good, make sure it's open. If it moves, it should have enough clearance because this has like an inner leak right here. So if it doesn't have clearance, it's not gonna come up. So it's gonna get stuck. So open it enough, not all the way, and then just pull this thing out and the whole case should be able to, you're gonna have to force it because you have a holding spot here by pressure and a holding spot here by pressure, and this holding spot right here. So make sure the lip is up. And this thing, I don't know if it holds the box a lot, but it's gonna limit you to move the box. So just to the side, up and down, up and down, up and down, and up at the same time. Then the next thing you wanna do is get the battery out. So I disconnected my battery already. So the battery, this one right here, I don't know if your car might be, this is if I'm not wrong, a 10. Let me check. Where is the tip? I just had the small ratchet with me. Tip. Oh, right. Found it. So yeah, this is a 10. Let me clean it up because it's dirty. Yeah, it's a 10. So it's a 10 for these screws right here. Your battery is gonna be sitting here, so you're gonna have your positive right here sitting. The negative is gonna be all the way back there. So you need to remove this to pull the battery this way. To move this now, because the box is loose, because I loosened up the box, it's kind of hard. But when the box is firm, you just pull this thing up, slide it back down like this. Not that much, don't force it. Bring the battery this way, and then you're gonna have your negative cable over here, same socket, a 10. Release that, put it to the side, get your battery, take it out, I have this little tool card that I keep everything, you know, so I can be more organized. So I put the battery there. Once you have that out, you have to remove this screw right here from the bottom support. There's one right here and one in the back. I have noticed in other videos that the one in the back is the most stubborn one, the one that always creates issues. This ones that were kind of stubborn, but I used you know, this blaster thing. I waited, let it sit for 10 minutes, you know, got all my other things out, my tools, got it ready on the little car, clean it off, bam, and, you know, started playing. What I did with this, actually, instead of going straight to release, you know, release this way with the ratchet, I believe it's a 10. Let me make sure. Yeah, this one right here is a 10, that's a 10, and that's a 10. What I did is tie it a little bit. I did a little bit of force to tie it so I can release the screw a little bit, and then I went back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, release and tie, release and tie, release and tie, until I felt that the screw was not going to snap. They're famous because they like to snap. They're so rusted, if you notice, that they love to snap, especially the one back there. So I went back and forward, and actually this one released pretty good. This one too. And when I went back there, I actually noticed that there was no one back there. So maybe when they did the battery change or some repair to the car, the previous owner didn't put the screw. Oh, it snapped. Most likely snapped, and that's why it's not there. So I removed the screws. I released this box. Remember, when you remove the battery, you have to remove the top bracket that holds the battery. If not, you're not unable to take it out. So I removed that. Let me take it out, put it to the side. Right here. I love this tool card. I actually bought this last week for this reason, so I can, you know, I'm in a parking spot area, so I can, you know, wheel my things out. You know, it's not for heavy material things, you know, you kind of go crazy, might snap. But to have a tool, you know, on the height of you, how you call this thing? Of your waist. No, that's not your waist. Shit, by the belt right here. To have that there and not be bending down to search on the box, I'm more comfortable like this. I can see everything at this height, and it helps me. So going back to this issue, that you might get one. This is not promoting this thing, but I'm just saying this thing collapses, so it expands. It goes vertical. So right now it's horizontal, so you grab it from a handle that is here. The handle is there, you pull up, and the thing collapses really small. So pretty good. So the next thing you're gonna wanna do is remove these 4 screws. It holds this top bracket and the bottom bracket. And there's 4 right here. You release them. I actually removed all of them. This one's, if I'm not wrong, let me see, it should be a 15. It's a 15. So remember, the screws from right here, from the side of the bracket, they're 15. So I released them. I just didn't lose them all the way because I didn't know if I was gonna need the support of the bracket, because after you lose those 4 screws, you have to lose this one. This one was pretty hard to remove. I do believe that one is an 18, but I didn't have an 18 in that size, so I used an 19 with my impact gun to release it because it wouldn't get, you know, loose. It was pretty stubborn, so I did the same thing. I did the blaster thing in that area, let it sit for a minute. In the ones over here, you don't have to do it unless you see them rusted. Let it sit in that area. I removed it. It's loose, you know. Then you pull this. That's the top support. If you see rust, just clean it off when you put it back, you know. It's not that hard, you know. I'm gonna put it here in my little car so I can keep these parts organized. And because the middle screw that holds this is released, you know, is the whole part is loose. So something that I should have said on the beginning of the video is make sure you put a jack and jack the transmission up, the support, so you create a support. So I did that. I have my transmission in the jack. Make sure when you put the jack, you put your emergency brake. So just to make sure you do this in order, emergency brake first, then the jack. You don't have to lift it up to lift up the car, just enough to create support for the transmission to sit on it. So just a little bit, and that's it. Then after that, you start losing everything else. Right now, my transmission is in the air because I have this released. You see? I have this part out, and I have the replacement right here. So I just have to swap the parts now. I mean, let me put this right here 1 second. 1 second. Down so I So I have the new part right here. I believe I have to transfer this piece here. Let me see. I have it backwards? Yes, I have it backwards. Like this. So this is the same part. I have to transfer this top mount over here, so I have to remove these two right here. I haven't removed them, so I don't know the size, but I have a feeling that it might be an 8. It looks like an 8. Yep, it's an 8. So the top screw from that is an 8. So you release that. I believe you release that. In this case, I just have to transfer this metal bracket over here, put it on, and secure everything. Then to put everything back on the same way you removed it. So you put this piece first, then I will put the bracket, this bracket right here, after you put the new piece. Secure this, not 100%, let it have some play so you can do the screw in the middle. Then after that, secure the screw in the middle. Once this one is secure, I will secure the rest. Bring the bracket down, then after that, you pull the battery compartment back to place, because this bracket is already going to be mounted, so it will mount back to, in top of that bracket, because you need this part for the screws that hold that mount. Once you do that, you pull the battery compartment. If you want, you can put the battery back and don't connect it, and then after that, you put this thing back. It should clip easy. It's not hard, it's just you going back in order now. And then the air box, make sure you connect these holes again. Make sure you connect this. Make sure you connect the mass airflow sensor for the air box, and make sure you tied up the battery. You put the negative. If not, it's going to be all the way back here and you're not going to be able to tie it. And simple as that. So the order of sequence of this is, remember, the emergency brake first, jack your transmission up, not the vehicle, just a little bit of the transmission, some support to keep it in the air. Then after that, it's removing the air box. Remember, loose from here. For me, it's more easy just to loose from one spot. Remove this clip from the top, click on it, pull. This one, push to the side and pull back. If this thing is too hard, it's gonna be a little bit hard, but just pull. Remove this. If this clip is gonna be usually all the way down, so you pull up the clip and just wiggle this thing left and right, and it comes off. Then after you do that, you have all this opening, everything disconnected. Make sure to cover this. I always cover it, even though that it's closed, but I always cover it. I don't want nothing from the trees falling down and that I'm not seeing, and then it's an issue. You see, there's always leaves and things like that. Then after that, release this thing from over here. Boom. Then after that, disconnect the screws from the battery box holder. Once you move this, you can remove the battery. Remove the 3 screws, 2 in your case if you only have 2. Take them out, and then same order. Remove the 4 screws holding this piece. Now remove them, loose them up, and then loose this one. And then once you have everything loose, take everything out. Remember, put your emergency brake always while you're working in the car, just to prevent the car going back. I will put the links of the parts, where I got them from. I got them from the TRQ. I think TRQ Auto Part or something like that. I will put the links. I actually bought the one from the transmission. I'm gonna change this one too, and the one on the bottom that is down there. I don't think we can see it from over here, but I have to change the one on the bottom too. So I have the 3 motor mounts. So today I'm just doing the one from the transmission. Well, I hope this is helpful, and maybe if you have a better idea how to do it, or something else, just shoot in the comments. Or good luck. Something that I wanted to add, because I realized something. That's an idea that just popped up. This is what the battery box sits, and this is how you call this? The screws that hold that box. You see, they're these things are corroded pretty bad. So I cleaned them off a little bit, with brake cleaner, the same blaster that I used to release the screws, and this blaster, and some sanding paper, just a little bit to clean it up. But it would be good if you apply some anti-seize compound. It doesn't have to be this one, any anti-seize in those holes. So that way when you screw the box again, it prevents them to seize. Because that's why these things, they rust. Because of the battery acid, I believe, and the water that they get, it's the plastic box. And then I imagine that, water gets to sit in these holes there, instead of draining out. Probably I will open a door, a hole on that plastic too, with the drill. That would be a great idea. Open a hole on the plastic, I don't know. That would be a bad idea, I think, because this is here, and I know this car is notorious on failing grounds. So now that you're here, I will remove this, clean it up so it has a better contact. Remove this one, clean it up so it has a better contact. And I did it on this one. I removed it, I sanded to remove the paint, and put some electrical grease to have a better contact. But that would be a good idea, to put some anti-seize into these screws, or where they go into, to prevent them from seizing in the back to the place. You never know when you have to remove this thing again. I know that you can buy these screws. You see how they're there. I will clean it up. Let me see if you will focus. I will clean it up, and try to make it cleaner, and put that anti-seize cream or oil. It's like an oil, and hopefully that helps in the future. And I will clean that up too, that rust in that area. And but I put the blaster, I'll put it back. Yeah, put the blaster back. Also, this thing is pretty cool. You can get, it collapses too, like the same way that this table, but you can carry, all the things that you might be using, like the WD-40, my brake cleaner, and what is that right here? And the carburetor air cleaner, and the blaster. Usually I have them with me, and I bought that thing at the same time with that table. So I will put the link into it. This thing is pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of Ryobi, but this thing was cheap. I bought it on Direct Tools, if I'm not wrong, used. So it's pretty powerful. It has 3 speed torques. I guess the force of the torque. Usually I have it in 2. I'm afraid to snap things. When I see something that might snap, I lower the torque. The closer that you have the tip I believe the more torque you have to that area that you want to release. This is the model of this part because you want it. It's pretty good. I like it. It removes the screws from the tires. It helps me a lot. So if you get it, try to get it with 2 batteries. You never, so that way when you're using one, the other one is short. When it dies, you can switch and the other one starts charging. They charge pretty quick too, those batteries. I'm not like I say, I'm not a big fan of Ryobi. Usually I'm a Milwaukee guy, but this thing is pretty good for the price of 120 with all the batteries, because I already had a kit with batteries. Pretty good. I have spent the 120. It was worth the 120, and it has resolved me a lot of problems for this car and the Ram and the BMW that we have too. So I will get one. Just if you're gonna be mechanical, doing mechanical stuff, it helps. So probably I will do a hole on the plastic. I have to see where the plastic box lands. Let me see. I don't think it will be a good idea. So I don't know. I will think about it to see if I open the hole on the thing. I'll be back after I mount the top piece and pull the anti-seize there.